Season 5 of Cobra Kai ended up being a little different from what I thought after I had finished Season 4, but having watched it from the first episode to the end, it was very predictable. So a few things happened at the end of the last season. Chozen arrived to help Daniel take down Cobra Kai. Miguel went to look for his dad in Mexico. And Terry Silver framing John Kreese for the beating of Stingray, therefore ridding himself of his weakness. Now, I didn't think Miguel would spend the entire season in Mexico, so I figured it'd be over in like 2 or 3 episodes, which it was, but I hoped that him going to Mexico would serve a higher purpose than just simply going to Mexico, finding his dad, being disappointed, and then leaving. And the entire time I was watching, that guy did not feel like his dad. Like, there was never really any confirmation that that was his dad, or maybe there was and I missed it. Let me know in the comment section, but I don't recall there being like a real confirmation that guy's his dad, because he does check off all the boxes. I mean, he's from Ecuador, he doesn't have any kids because Miguel's dad doesn't know that he has any kids. He has a criminal background, he was married, he was complaining about his mother-in-law, so like he checks off all the boxes, but he just, like, I don't know, it just didn't feel like it was going to be his father, like he was mistaken, like he was with the guy at the bar, or wherever he was when he talked to that first guy, when he confronted him about his father, and he said that, I have no idea who you are, and I had never heard of Carmen, blah, blah, blah. So I thought it would be a similar situation. So the way it was filmed, to me, was just really bad. And more to the point, like, this whole entire like arc for Miguel of just finding his father just felt very pointless. And that is in part due to the duration of the season, because the episodes are 30 or fewer minutes and there are only 10 episodes, so there's only so much you can fit in that short like span of time. Now, when Chozen showed up at the end of Season 4, I just figured more fan service, because that's essentially what they're doing. They just keep bringing people back from the Karate Kid franchise and using those people to sell the show. But anyway, when Chozen showed up, I was hoping that he would help Daniel find his way and kind of build a new dojo, because they said that they would quit if they lost the whole valley, which they did by cheating, but regardless, they did. So I was hoping he'd help him find his own way, because if I remember correctly, Mr. Miyagi in like a flashback, I think he said that in the movie, that he was Daniel's teacher, but eventually Daniel will find his own way. So I was hoping that Chozen would be there for that, and then creating a new dojo. But that's not what happened. Instead, Chozen's there to fight Cobra Kai, which is very predictable. I figured that's exactly what was going to happen, and I don't like that, because when Chozen showed up in, what was it, I think it was season 3, I like seeing that he went from a guy who was ready to commit suicide from feeling so ashamed and just coming back and finding peace and having students and passing on his wisdom and knowledge and karate. So I was so happy for him. I was happy to see someone who had changed so much, and I was happy to leave it at that. But no, they had to bring him back to do all this bullshit with Cobra Kai, which has absolutely nothing to do with him but fan service. And Terry Silver, I was critical of him being there in season 4, because John Kreese had everything he needed. He had Robbie Keane, he had Cobra Kai, his students were learning both Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, and everybody was under one leader with one approach to karate with one goal. Like, what is Terry Silver there for? And Terry Silver this season really did demonstrate that he is a far better villain than John Kreese ever was, but at the same time, I just wish they would do something new, because it just feels so repetitive. In this season, Terry Silver does more of the same that John Kreese did in the previous seasons, although unlike John Kreese, who does care about his students, and you see that with flashbacks, you see that with his conversations with Johnny and his psychiatrist, he does care about his students. He's, however controversial his methods may be, he does care in his own way. But with Terry Silver, it is all about him. He doesn't give a fuck about his students or anything, and that's why he's a much better villain. But what I don't like is that they make it seem like he's taking over the fucking planet. Like, this is not the MCU. He's not Thanos. A karate dojo spreading around the world isn't a bad thing. The issue is Terry Silver. And yeah, they do make a point that they're trying to take Terry Silver down, but they're also trying to take Cobra Kai down as is like it's an infectious disease or something. Like, no, it's just fucking karate. I mean, like I mentioned before, when this show first came out, I thought it would just be the Karate Kid told from the Cobra Kai perspective, and like Daniel Larusson was the protagonist in the Karate Kid, and to him Cobra Kai was the villain, Johnny Lawrence would be the protagonist in this show, and we would get to see that Cobra Kai isn't really bad. It's people like John Kreese and Terry Silver. But ever since season 2, they've been singing the same song. If you're in Cobra Kai, you will be brainwashed. It's toxic. They're manipulating. It's just fucking karate. And the way they've been doing this is just all wrong for me. And another ongoing problem that the show has is that there are way too many people that know karate. And even though in this season the focus shifted a lot more towards the adults, there are still way too many people in this show that know karate. Because now you have Daniel Larusson, you have Johnny Lawrence, you have Mike Barnes, who's back, and it's great seeing him again, although I wish they would have just stuck to him learning how to use his hands for something other than karate. Then you have Chozen, who shouldn't even fucking be there, he should be in Okinawa, but fan service and trying to sell the show with old characters, moving on. Then you have John Kreese, you have Terry Silver, and you have all the people that Terry Silver flew in to teach Tong Soo Do. At least I hope I'm getting that right, the name of the martial arts that he was taught by the South Korean master. And that creepy ass woman that's part of that group, and I saw the actress in an interview, she naturally has piercing eyes and it's fine, but her depiction of the character is really fucking creepy. Like when she gets in Tori's face and it's like, "You are the champion, you will help me test them." Get the bitch, get the fuck away from me. She's so fucking creepy. But there's too many people and you don't get to see really the training process that you got to see Miguel go through in the first season, how he was learning Cobra Kai and he was working out. He still got his ass kicked by his bullies, but he continued working out and honing his skills, and he overcame the bullying and he became a champion. You don't really get to see that anymore. Like the magic of Cobra Kai in season 1 is gone. Now you just have a bunch of fighters in Cobra Kai. They keep expanding and getting new dojos, and now Cobra Kai is more like an army. Like this is an MCU film and Thanos is just trying to take over the universe. Like it's just fucking karate. I mean, you don't see the respected sport, you don't see the discipline, you just see a bunch of kids, and honestly you can't even call them like rival dojos. They're fucking gangs and they should all be in jail at this point. But every time these kids see each other, it doesn't matter which dojo it is, doesn't matter if it's Miyagi-Do, Eagle Fang, or Cobra Kai. Every time they see each other, one of them's always running their mouth off, one of them's always got something to say. Shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down! They all stand up, they all confront each other, and then they just get into a rumble. The same formula every single season. At the end of the show, the final episodes, all you see is Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang with the help of Tori getting into the Cobra Kai place in order to expose Terry Silver. I get that. What happens after that? Another rumble. Like, it's very formulaic, the way everybody knows karate in like 1 or 2 episodes. Then the next episode, rumble. And they try to put over Kenny Payne in this season by having him beat Hawk, even though earlier in the season he couldn't even touch Hawk. Hawk was just dodging and just deflecting his punches easily, like it was effortless. And then later they put him over just like in WWE by beating Hawk. It's very, very formulaic and they keep doing the same thing. And even though I don't care for his character, I was hoping we would have seen his brother at some point, but we didn't. And as far as all the other characters go, I really like what they did with Johnny this season and how they had him mature and grow up a bit. He's working a job that he doesn't like because him and Carmen are expecting a baby, which is pretty stupid because with 30 or fewer minutes per episode and 10 episodes per season, the plot is already spread out thin enough. Like, you don't need anything else going on. But I mean, it is what it is. And Miguel and Robbie, I'm really happy that they squashed their beef finally. I think everything was leading up to this and I didn't really want to see that dragged out any further. It was kind of dumb. I still don't like Samantha LaRusso. She's still the worst character in the show to me. I don't like the acting. I don't like when she talks. I don't like her fight scenes. She cannot sell a fight scene. Like, her fight scenes are so bad. I still remember the fight scene from season 3 when everybody invaded the LaRusso family home and she was trying to fight this guy and she threw him into a wall, which is completely unbelievable. If you watch the fight scene again, you will see that guy throw himself into the wall because she can't sell that fight scene. Her character is horrible and I still don't fucking like her. I do like Tori. I'm glad that they expanded upon what she saw at the end of season 4 and how she saw Terry Silver parry off the referee. And she was talking to John Kreese as a means of getting rid of Terry Silver. And I really don't like that because it didn't really lead anywhere. At the end of the day, he kind of found his own way to get out of prison, and those conversations didn't really do anything. I mean, I guess the thing that they did is that they led Daniel Larusson to Stingray's house, and they had him figure out, hey, you lied about everything that happened with John Kreese. So I guess it did serve some sort of purpose, but other than that, it didn't really lead anywhere. So they could have kind of scrapped that and just had kind of John Kreese in some way do that on his own. The only person that's more cringe than Samantha whenever she has something to say is Kyler. Like, every word that comes out of his mouth, like, bro, just stop talking. And although I do like Amanda LaRusso, like, she's like the voice of reason every season, but it doesn't make sense how she's still not divorced from Daniel, because nothing's changed at all. She was pissed off because he was letting business suffer and he wasn't like taking his job seriously and focusing all his time on karate. Well, nothing's really changed, and she got pissed off again this season, but nothing's really changed, and next season it won't change either. His focus will still be on karate. So like, that whole relationship doesn't make any sense, but like, it is what it is. And although they try to make it seem as if they killed John Kreese on screen, it was completely obvious that they didn't. They would never kill a main character in that way, especially in the last episode. And it was obvious he would escape once they zoomed in on the psychiatrist's card. It was completely obvious that he would escape. And I'm hoping that his escape means something, and he's not just escaping to get Cobra Kai again, because it's getting very, very repetitive. And I'm gonna stop, but I really want to address that last episode where like all the conflicts happened. Okay, so like I said, I would have preferred if Mike Barnes just kind of stayed out of it and he just remained in a furniture store, which obviously can't happen because Silver turned it to ashes. But I wish that didn't happen, and Daniel LaRusso just said, you know what, I'm happy you're not working with Terry Silver and that life worked out for you. No, moving on. But it happened, and when he did show up, he showed up because he felt his life was destroyed, which it was. I mean, Silver burned everything to ashes. Everything that he built with his wife and his family, it was gone. So he came back, and according to Daniel, he said that he was on something, and his pupils, I think his pupils were dilated or whatever. So he was on something, and he was very angry and irritated, and everybody else was drunk. So the way they set up that final like confrontation, at least for like the season with Terry Silver, just, it was very hard to take seriously, because I understood where Mike Barnes was coming from, but everybody else was just laughing. They were drunk off their asses, and that's how they approached this like final fight for the season. It was kind of ridiculous. I could not take it seriously. And then the the Miyagi-Do, Eagle Fang, like all the students, they all invade Cobra Kai to get footage to show that Stingray was beat up by Terry Silver, not John Kreese. And I understood that, like, they had to do that in order to expose Terry Silver, which is the main issue, not Cobra Kai. But then what does that lead to? Another Rumble. And it's just getting so predictable that they do this every season, and then they had Daniel fight Terry Silver towards the end, and he beat him, which makes no sense, but I guess they had to give Daniel his hero moment. But I mean, they do the same thing every season, and it was so obvious that they're gonna go invade Cobra Kai, they're gonna get into a Rumble, and then they're gonna use that technique, the whole can't remember what the bird that Chozen was talking about, but the one like where they put all their eggs in one basket and then they all defended it. It was obvious they're going to use that, which they did, but apparently it wasn't working, so I don't really understand what the point of that was. But yeah, another Rumble. The one surprising thing was that all the Cobra Kai students left Terry Silver after he was exposed for admitting that he had bought the referee to help Cobra Kai win, which makes no sense because they break laws, they vandalize, they do whatever the hell they want whenever they want because they're Cobra Kai. But what Terry Silver did was unacceptable. But they were perfectly fine with the referee during that showcase to see which dojo would get the opportunity to compete in that karate tournament. They were completely fine with that, like, referee not giving Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang their just due. But it's not okay for Terry Silver to pay off a referee. I mean, that was kind of dumb, and now like all those students just walked out. So like, what does Terry Silver have now? So is John Kreese gonna come in and kind of like gather them back together? Are they gonna get new fighters? Like, where is this all leading? So that is the thing that like intrigues me the most. But other than that, everything was very, very predictable. But yeah, having Terry Silver as a villain is much better than John Kreese. He's very manipulative and cunning and just overall just a better bad guy, so he's better than John Kreese. But this is all very formulaic and predictable and repetitive. So yeah, whatever. Let me know in the comment section if you disagree with me and you actually enjoyed this season. I obviously did not. It wasn't entirely bad, but I didn't. But let me know what you think. Hit that like button, it does help me a lot. Subscribe if you have not already, and I will catch you in the next video next Friday. See you then. Bye bye.